I hope you've had a great week so far. I have. It's been a productive week, and I've got to tell you that I think right now um, I'm busier than I was when I was on the road. I mean, today is filled with interviews and with phone calls and stuff. And I was hoping that during this, this time of this new abnormal, that I would have lots of time to play golf. But they shut the golf course down and then they opened it up. So I ran up there to play golf and hit one ball and the heavens opens and it started raining. So I didn't get to play golf then. So I went back the next day and I got 9 holes of golf in. So I was excited about that. And just so many things going on and so many things that to me are exciting. Because I think you can look at this time of the new abnormal in a couple of different ways. You can look at it and be depressed. You can look at it and be frustrated. You can look at it and just want the whole thing just to be over. Or you can look at it through the eyes of pace and patience and realize that you cannot control what's happening. It's out of your control. But you can determine how you're going to be during this time of the new abnormal. And I do believe that we're slowly getting to the other side of it. But we're still going to have to be very, very, very patient with getting through it. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted this time with you today to talk about this thing called stress. Folks, words carry power. I don't think you know that. Words carry emotions. I think you know that too. And when you listen to a person talk, you can actually hear what the terms that they're speaking mean to them. And like well enough know that the same word can have different meanings on different days of your life. Now, the biggest why to this statement is defined by what is happening in one's life at any given moment, because life can shift gears in a moment, right? I mean, when you're having a calm day, your tone will reflect that fact. But if your day gets turned upside down, your tone, your demeanor will reflect a different story. And you know this too, words will always be defined by behavior, which creates the real picture of life. But words by themselves are limited in what they're saying. But when defined by behavior, create the real picture of life. Now, definitions of life are both internal and external. I know people, and maybe you're one of them, but I know people who have complete conversations within their self, and they don't invite others into the conversation. But in reality, those internal conversations will always have an expression through behavior. The damage, and there can be damage done, the damage is done when conversations are kept internally and they can affect life. Now, this new abnormal that we're living through is causing many people to turn inward. And in doing that, they're storing many of their emotions that they're feeling. And this has had a result. The result has become an increase in their personal stress. Now, let me tell you something. In my private conversations I'm having with people, I'm hearing a lot about the increase in their fear, their feeling of uncertainty, their feeling of being lost. What this is doing to their confidence. And they're trying to figure out what to do with all of this. And all of these increases have increased human stress. And this is why that I have chosen for us to focus on this thing called stress. Because that's a very, very, very important word. And it's important because stress is a natural part of your life. It's one of those aspects you can't live without. But I'm going to tell you, if you don't learn to live to control it, it can become one of those things that can kill you. Now, it can kill you mentally. It can kill you emotionally. And yes, it can kill you physically. And when you look at stress, you got to understand what stress is. It's something that most store, they don't confront. And you know that anything you store in your life and you put it in that trash can of life, that just because it's laying there, it doesn't go away. No, it lays there and it nibbles at you. And if stress is an internal part of your life and is nibbling at you, it's dangerous. Stress is a ticking time bomb that at some point will explode. Have you ever had a time where you carried all of these emotions within you? And they were laying there and they were laying there in this mixing bowl, and the mixing bowl was turned off. And then all of a sudden you reached a point where that mixing bowl got turned on. And it got turned on to high speed and it just started spinning. And all of a sudden, those emotions inside there just exploded and they all came out. And how dangerous are you when that mixing bowl is on high speed? Stress is refueled by your resistance to change. And this is happening, folks. This time of the new abnormal is bringing change into human lives. Why? We have time to look at things. Why? Because we don't know what to do. And what's being presented to us is, what is life going to look like? Because the life that was before this new abnormal is not going to be the life that you look at on the other side of this new abnormal. Things are going to change, which means you're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to make adjustments. You're going to have to bring the word change to a bigger part of your life. Stress is an everyday part of your life. Every day of your life, from the moment you get up to the moment you go to bed, stress is going to be a part of your life. Which means it's something you have to accept. You can't avoid it. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. It is going to be a part of your life. Which means stress is also a sign that you better pay attention to. You have to pay attention to your stress level. Why? Because it's going to affect you emotionally. It's going to affect you mentally. And yes, it's going to affect you physically. So with that, let's put some words in front of us. And we start with the word itself, stress. Anything in life that makes you uptight. Now, with that definition, can you see where stress is an everyday part of your life? I mean, how many decisions do you have to make that you struggle with? How many things happen during your day that create a reaction from you? How many things in your day give you that feeling of just a moment of just being uptight with having to make the decision? Stress is anything in your life that makes you uptight. Life. Every day filled with choices and decisions you will make. That's what life is about. It's about every day being handed choices. It's about every day being filled with decisions. And you have them all day long, do you not? So life is every day that you're breathing, filled with choices and decisions that you will have to make. And then death, the end of life, and stress. You know that life has an expiration date to it. We don't know when it is. But sometimes can we come to the place in life where the thought of death can just increase one's stress. And then our term uptight. Seeking to catch your breath while you're still running. How many times have you done this? How many times have you been uptight because what you're doing is you're running and you're adding more to your plate and you haven't been able to catch your breath yet? So this word becomes really important. Seeking to catch your breath while you're still running. You ever told somebody, I just need to sit down for a moment. I just need to pause. I need to stop. I need to catch my breath. But while you're trying to catch your breath, you're still thinking about all the things you got to do. And then there's bad stress. The part of your decision-making process that is slowly killing you. Because you know what you're doing? You're not resolving anything. You're reacting to everything. You know what you're doing? You're creating stacks of clutter. You got all these things in your life that you've started, but you haven't completed. And every time you look at them, there's stress involved. And then we got good stress. The part of your decision-making process that is protecting you from killing yourself. It's about pace. It's about patience. It's about persistency. And then we have another word, big word, tension. Feeling like a rubber band being pulled in too many directions. Have you been there? Have you felt like you're just stretching yourself really thin? Have you felt like that there's no more of you to give? Have you ever felt like that if one more person asks you to do one more thing, you're going to explode? Or you ever felt like if I don't get some of this off of my plate, it's going to kill me? So tension is that rubber band feeling where you feel like you're being pulled in a multitude of directions. And then one more word for us. Choice. Making decisions that affect the direction of your life. Now, I want to put this out here because it's important. And if you've been part of my word studies that I've been doing each morning, I do word studies Monday through Thursday. And we take a word and we take it to our life. And if you've been there, you've heard me talking about over and over again that choices come from one of two foundations for your life. There are only two foundations in life that you make choices from. You make choices from your belief, your trust, and your faith. Or you make choices from your doubt, your worry, and your uncertainty. And whichever one of those two foundations you use, you make a choice from. And whatever that choice is that you make, it creates the foundation. It creates the direction of your life. And that's important. Because most of the time, I'd say 97% of the time, if I'm making my choice from my belief, my trust, and my faith, there's going to be stress, but that's good stress. But if I choose to make the choice of my life from doubt, worry, and uncertainty, that's bad stress. So my choice can create the direction of my life, which will play with my stress level. So here's our truth. You can't live without stress, but if you can't control its effect on your life, it can kill you. It can kill you mentally. It can kill you emotionally. And yes, it can kill you physically. When I was writing my book, The Truth About Stress, I found 127 different definitions to the term. And it just stressed me out. And when I finished my research and I created my definition, anything in life that makes you uptight. And when I finished all my research and finished writing the book, I came to a realization. I think the majority of human illness is the result of stress that you don't face. I think if you don't face stress, it can physically affect you to the point that it can take over your life. And it can kill you. That's why this thing called stress is so important. So, let's see how good you are at managing your stress. Okay? Here are some signs that you're not managing your stress. Standing still makes you feel guilty. You always got to be doing something. You got to be busy. You got to be active. Time is something there's never enough of. Man, you ever had a day that you ran out of time before you ran out of things to do? Racing is the track your life is running on. You're like the little gerbil, faster and faster and faster and faster. And when you're running on that track, you're running yourself out of life. Our emotions are guiding your life. You're living from your emotions up, not your mind down. Sensing you will never get caught up. You ever told yourself, what's the use in trying? I'm never going to get caught up. There's always something else. There's always something more to do. And then you're seeing yourself overwhelmed. But even though you see yourself overwhelmed, you keep adding more. Now, are you guilty of that? Huh? Are you guilty of all of those? Are any of those? Huh? And by the way, how'd you do on the little stress test I sent you? Now, you'll notice that I didn't give you an answer key. What's going to happen is when we finish this webinar today, you're going to get an answer key and you're going to be able to see what that test is saying about you. So here's another one of our stress insights. People who work to eliminate stress only increase their stress, while those who learn to control their stress can control its effect upon their life. Listen, you can't get rid of life. You can't get rid of stress. And the more you work to get rid of stress, the more stress you're going to have. So if someone comes to you and goes, Richard, you need to eliminate all the stress out of your life, what are they saying? They want you dead. If I could take all the stress out of your life, you'd be dead in basically 2.5 minutes. You need stress for your body to operate, but you don't need stress that's going to kill you. And this is why we need to understand that there's both good stress and bad stress. Bad stress winds you up tighter and tighter and tighter, while good stress teaches you how to release the tension that you're feeling. And you got both. So, bad stress always makes you feel like you have to run faster, that you got to do more, that you got to prove yourself, that you have to become superhuman. You ever felt that? Well, good stress understands there's always ways, there's always things to do. And you, no one else, you must control your life through your pace, through your priorities, and your proper time management. So I want to take a moment and I want to reconnect you to your living house. Okay? And this house is a design that you have to understand. And most of you have been around me long enough, you know that I believe that you live in a 4-room house. And that the design of the rooms is a big part of whether the stress in that room is going to be bad stress or good stress. So let's take a reminder tour. Your business room. Now, this is your number one room of mental stress. And I'm going to tell you, the stress in this room is increasing today. Because if you're a business owner, you're being affected by this new abnormal. I'm being affected by it. My business room is being affected by this new abnormal. And this room is mentally wearing on us because what are we going to do? How are we going to build our business? What are we going to do with business on the other side? Now, in a generic sense, let me show you the major causes of stress in this room. And this is in a generic sense. It's across the board. Sameness, routine driven. And I'm going to tell you something, on the other side of this new abnormal, there's not going to be sameness. You're going to work for it, you're going to want it, but it's going to be interrupted. There's too much noise there. And that noise comes from you, and that noise comes from other people. I'll promise you that on the other side of this new abnormal, noise is going to increase. Resistance to change this room that you always have to go through. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to fight with yourself on the other side of this new abnormal because there's going to be adjustments that are going to have to be made. Adjustments mean what? Things are going to have to change. Everybody needs something from you. And I tell you, your internal customers are going to need something different from you because it's going to be redesigned. Your external customers are going to need something different from you. You think that won't increase your stress? Sensing you feel this room is not providing what you feel this room is not providing. Right now, for most of us, it's not providing income. You think there's any stress in that? On the other side, we're going to have to live with and understand how we're going to have to put this room back together. And for a lot of people right now, and I'm hearing this, they see no light at the end of the tunnel. And it goes back to one of my major things. Who do you believe? One group that says this, the other group says that. And in order for you to be able to be prepared, you got to be able to see a light at the end of the tunnel. And when there is no light at the end of the tunnel in your business room, there's an increase in stress. Family room. You know, this is your number one room of emotional stress. And I'm going to tell you something. The family room has a lot of emotional stress in it right now. Why? Because for a lot of people, they're around each other more than they've ever been around. I was visiting with a couple today, and one of the things, not today, but the other day, and one of the things they were saying to me is that we're spending too much time around each other. I heard the story of this one lady who told her husband, I can't be around you this much. So she put a chair outside and told him, go sit out there. I'm going to tell you something. When this room is upside down, the stress in this room can become overwhelming. And with everything this new abnormal is doing with being around each other as a couple, being around each other as a family, it has increased the stress. Now, in a generic sense, what are the major causes of stress in this room? Sensing the financial pressure. This is number one. Money has become an issue. And we're having to look at things and maybe make adjustments financially that we didn't think we'd have to make. That will increase your stress. There's disconnect here. Because why? The relationship that we've had is being redesigned. We're having to figure out how to be around each other as a family this length of time. You think there's no stress in that? What about the changes? Because this time you're around each other is showing you that there are things maybe we need to do differently. There's some adaptations here. There's some adjustments here. And you think you can wear on each other's nerves if you're around each other too much? Huh? Some of you know that I think that there's a 4-part to a relationship. And that is, you're either in love, you like, or you tolerate. And all relationships slip in and out of those. And the thing that keeps a relationship together is, even if you go to the like, or you go to the tolerate, or you just go to the love. The thing that makes it healthy is you can always come back to being in love. There's something that each other brings that fulfills each other. But you can be around each other so much that what happens? You start tolerating each other. Support is not the support you need. Right now, what do you need from each other? In this time of this new abnormal, what do you need from each other? Are you getting it? Major causes of stress? Seeing the future as more of the same. Frightening. I asked a couple the other day, do you want to be married to each other? With everything you've experienced in this time of this new abnormal, in this time you've had around each other, what has it told you about your relationship? Does it need improvement? You have your social room. Now, this is your playroom. And this is an important room, because if you forget how to play, you forget how to be a child. If you forget how to be a child, you get old. So, in a generic sense, what's the major causes of stress here? Sense of guilt that goes with having fun. Do you know there's some people who believe that life is not made for fun? Can you believe that? That life is meant for work. Life is meant for always being busy. Life is meant for always having something to do. And there'll be plenty of time in life to have fun down the road. Interesting, huh? You think there's any stress in that? If you feel guilty having fun, do you think that can increase your stress? There's no time for it. Hey, Richard, I don't have time right now for a social room. I've got too many things on my plate. I've got to figure out what I'm going to look like on the other side of this new abnormal. I've got to get a picture painted. I got to understand what it is that I need to be doing. I don't have any time for this right now. Richard, it costs money to have a social room. And right now we got to be frugal. Right now we can't afford to spend money and do things in a social way. And for other people, their social room has become their escape. I need some place to run away to. And so they use their social room as their escape room. For other people, back to the fun part, they don't think having fun is important. How important is it that you laugh? How important is it that you have a place where you can go and just with other people that you enjoy, other people you like, just relax and have fun together? If you don't have that, there's going to be stress. The other challenge is sometimes you get to the social room and you don't want to leave. You don't want to go back to work. You don't want to go home. And folks, I'm going to tell you something. I personally believe this is going to be a challenge on the other side of the new normal. I think there are people that are enjoying not having to go to work. I think there are people that have turned their life into a big party room and a social room right now. And when we get to the other side and the opportunity is to go back to work, they're not going to want to go. Why? Because they're collecting unemployment. And as long as they can be paid unemployment, why should they go back to work? But I'm going to tell you, there's stress in that. And then you got your fourth room, which is your personal room. This is your alone space. This is where you will discover and plan what you want for your life. Now, most people don't have a personal room. They have time for everybody in their life but them. So in a generic sense, what's causing the stress here? They don't see this room as necessary. I got too many things to do. I got so much on my plate, and you're telling me I need to find time for just me. Richard, there's no time for that. It's not something that I need to be concerned about. You're absolutely wrong. This room is filled with fear. Do you know how fearful it is for some people to have to spend time by themselves? You know how many times I've heard this? Richard, I can't be by myself. I am afraid to be alone with me. Any stress in that? Refuse to face self. See, here's the interesting thing about the personal room. This is where you go to be by yourself. No one can go with you, because if anyone goes with you, it becomes a social room. And here's one of the real interesting things about the personal room. Alone by yourself, you can't lie to yourself. And there are a lot of people who avoid the personal room because it's a room where you have to be honest with yourself. And if you're put into a place where you have to be honest with you, do you think there might be any stress in that? Every other part of your life is more important. My family needs me. My business needs me. People need me. And I just don't have time to find that time for me. Yes, I know it's important. Yes, I need it. But I just don't have the time for that right now. Stress. Support for the room is not present. You know you need it, but the people around you don't think it's important. You ever told somebody, I just need some time for me? And the attitude is, well, you don't have time for me. And if you know you need it, but there's not the support for it, do you think there's stress in trying to make the decision about what to do? And then the sounds of silence become overwhelming. Would you agree that sometimes in your life there is too much noise? And sometimes that noise is coming from you. It's you screaming at you about what you should be doing that you're not doing. It's other people bringing their noise to your life and coming at you because they need you to be something for them. Is there stress in that? And I think sometimes the personal room, you go there and because you're by yourself, there's this silence, but yet the noise. Here's reality. You can't run away from stress. Folks, you can't do it. You can't run away from stress. It will always find you. So let me go back to us for a second to our stress definition. Anything, no matter what it is, anything in life that makes you uptight, anything in life that brings you tension, anything in your life that makes you uptight. So, what are the major things right now that are making people feel uptight? And I want to share this from the viewpoint of what I'm hearing from emails and what I'm hearing from conversations. Under too much tension, always another issue. Pace of life, man, there's never enough time. And even if things are slowed down, I feel like I'm busier now than I've ever been. The financial pressure. Where's the money going to come from? And in truth, you're tired. You rest, but you're not rested. Huh? Major causes, feelings of being uptight today. Getting control. There's always something or someone coming at you, and you're just being pulled. That word tension, you're a rubber band being stretched. And then having to carry the load. Everybody's depending on you. Everybody needs you to be there for them. And right now, this can be really true because you're confined, you're home, and everybody needs something from somebody. And then time just seems to be flying by. This is not where you wanted to be. This was not where you expected to be in this part of your life. But it is what is. And time, I get up in the morning, and by the time I turn around, it's night. And I feel like, what am I doing? Any of those true about you? Any of those making you uptight right now? You see, time and stress always seem to go hand in hand. The more you struggle with time, the tighter it seems to wind you up. True? The challenge is not the amount of time you have, it's what you choose to do with the time. Time is constant and consistent. Here's something true about you and I, we're not. What do most people do with time? Take it for granted, they got plenty of it. Invest in doing the wrong things. Make tomorrow their starting point. End the day with what didn't happen. Time is the most precious gift you have. And you've heard me say this to you over and over again. You're either going to waste it, abuse it, spend it, or invest it. But time is the most important gift you have in your life. Now, stress is always present. Have you gathered that from what we've been talking about? But it doesn't have to be a negative part of your life. The key is understanding how to control the stress in your life. And don't you forget, you either control the stress in your life or it can overwhelm your life. You control the stress in your life, you get the good part of stress. You let stress overwhelm your life, you get the bad part of stress. And bad stress can kill you mentally, emotionally, and physically. Bad stress can kill you. It can wear you out. It can wear you down. Because bad stress reaches out to that foundation of doubt, worry, and uncertainty, and it nibbles at every part of you. It nibbles at every aspect of your life. Stress is always present. So here's the last part of our time together. I want to share with you 7 steps to controlling the stress in your life. Not eliminating the stress. You're not going to eliminate it. You cannot eliminate stress, but you can control it. Okay? When you learn to control the amount of stress in your life, it becomes a healthy friend. Back to this, you learn to control it, you're going to get the good aspects of stress. If you can't control it, you're going to get the bad stress, and the bad stress will kill you. So our emphasis has got to be on controlling the stress in our life. So I'm going to suggest to you 7 steps. Please take these seriously. Please understand the damage that stress can do to your life. Mentally, emotionally, physically. You ready? Step number 1. Calm yourself down before you make any decision. This is critical. If I'm calm, I work from the foundation of belief, trust, and faith. If I'm out of control, I work from the foundation of doubt, worry, and uncertainty. Now, there'll always be decisions for you to make. The key is to learn to breathe before you make a decision. A hasty decision will always come back to bite you in the butt and increase your self-punishment. That will bring more stress to your life. I'm going to promise you this. A hasty decision is always from the foundation of doubt, worry, and uncertainty. And it's always going to come back to bite you in the butt. So, what does this require from you? Stop and breathe before you open your mouth. Take all the time necessary to make the decision. Expect there to be emotional reaction. Face it, anytime you deal with a choice in life, there's going to be emotions involved. Slow down, breathe, pace yourself. Be patient with your decision. And then prepare by mentally, emotionally, and physically being in shape. My mind is healthy. My emotions are healthy. I'm working. My body is becoming healthy. So number 1, calm yourself down before you make any decision. Number 2, open yourself to admitting and facing the fights you're having with you. Do you understand that good stress and bad stress can put you at war against yourself? Why? Because you've got a constant war going on inside you. Hey, it's there. You got that old you that wants you to stay the same and not face your life and stay with your life the way it is. And that just increases your bad stress. Or you got the new you that wants you to improve and to grow. And so the new you brings what? Good stress to your life. Folks, you're not perfect. You have problems. You have hang-ups. Things you don't like about you. Things you don't like about your life. You got it. The more you resist the personal war you're fighting, the more you open your life to destructive aspects of stress, to the bad stress. Stop lying to yourself and open your life to what you're fighting against in your life. Now, this is going to require straight talk with yourself. Be honest. Tackle your fights one at a time. Don't get into the ring with a group. Enhance your love for yourself. Yes, I struggle with me. But I'm going to take my life and I'm going to look at the fights I'm having with me, and I'm going to work through them. I'm going to become stronger because of them. Punching yourself is no longer acceptable. You're no longer allowed to get down on yourself. But you are allowed to face your life and see where you're struggling. And rather than having problems, face your life with concerns. Number 3, never take on more than you can manage. Boy, this is so important to controlling stress. When you can't say no and are always adding more to your plate, you become one whose behavior says they don't respect the fact they're alive. No can free you from allowing bad stress to overwhelm your life. It's okay to say no. It's okay to not be everybody's servant. It is okay to not jump when people say jump. It's okay to say no. Now, this is going to require start respecting yourself. You know what? When I respect myself, I don't give you control of my life. Take saying no seriously. Every time you say no, when you know that it's the wrong answer for your life, okay? I said that wrong. Every time you say yes, when you know that's the wrong word for your life, you're increasing your bad stress. It's okay to say no. But if you're in a situation and it's increasing your stress, then have that conversation with yourself. Say no and get out of there before you kill yourself. Not to do this, you're going to have to place yourself as a priority in your own life. Hey, do you treat yourself with respect? Do you love yourself? Does your behavior prove it? Number 4, treat yourself as someone you love. If you want to know the reality about you, look at how you treat yourself. The greatest statement of self-definition is the behavior you bring to your own life. Are you a friend to you or an enemy? Do you treat yourself with love? And do you know that when you don't treat yourself with respect, you increase your bad stress? Do you know that when you become everybody else's slave, you increase your bad stress? Good stress is the result of you loving yourself and treating yourself as a person of worth and value and not allowing other people to disrespect you. This requires certain things. Seeing yourself as important to you. Are you? Truth about why you're so tough on yourself. And you understand that most of the beatings, most of the choices for bad stress come from a yesterday where a decision was made, and that decision came from that foundation of worry, doubt, and uncertainty. Exit any environment that doesn't provide you with love. What's my thought? Never stay anywhere in life where your presence isn't appreciated. And that should be a foundation principle that you live by. And then provide mental, emotional, and physical hugs for yourself. Hey, throw parties and only invite you. Treat yourself as someone of worth, of value, of respect. Treat yourself with love. Number 5, refuse to make your life a race. Folks, when life becomes a race where you feel you need to go faster, achieve more, constant feeling you need to improve yourself, are always bringing more to the table, you become the person who's living with their own death wish. Life has a design to it. You either design your life to live and find the more for your life, or you live to be self-destructive and put yourself on a path of killing yourself. If you've been around me, you know how important I think pace is. It's not about how fast you move. It's not about how much you can achieve. It's not about always being everything to everybody. It's about slowing down, where you are managing your life rather than your life managing you. If your life is managing you, you are self-destructive. You're filling your life with bad stress, and that will kill you. Mentally, emotionally, and yes, it can do it physically. So this requires, stop feeling you need to prove yourself. You don't have to prove yourself to anyone. That's an old tape built on doubt, worry, and uncertainty. But when you have that foundation of belief, trust, and faith, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody. The pace must be manageable. Slow down and breathe. Stop running to try to catch your breath. Enter each day with an achievement list of 3 things, no more than 3. Don't have a to-do list, we got an achievement list. And when you live with achievement, you live from your mind down. When you live with to-do, you live with your emotions up. Prepare by learning to take a time out. Prepare by making sure there's time for you in each day of your life. Make sure that during the day, there's time for you to do something for you. Number 6, open your life to take an honest look at yourself. We're talking about taking control of the stress in your life. We're talking about learning to control that. One of the most challenging people you will ever have to be honest with. Guess who that is? You. Yet if you can't be honest about you, you're only increasing the stress in your life. Denial and avoidance are 2 of the foods that bad stress likes to nibble on in your life. Are you honest about you? Are you honest about your life? Are you honest about the stress in your life? Do you like the person you're becoming? Do you like the person you see in the mirror? Is your life under your control, or have you given control of your life away? You'll know that by the quality of stress in your life. If I'm controlling my life, I get the good stress. If life is controlling me, I get the bad stress. Which are you better at? This is going to require, it's going to require that you stop playing games with your life. You get honest about the design of your life. You take the rooms of your life seriously. You know, if I'm going to have a life that I can control my stress, I got to have my personal room as number 1, my family room as number 2, business number 3, and social room number 4. I got to take the design of my life seriously. Expect there to be stress and don't run from it. You're always going to have stress. Every day of your life is going to be stress. Good stress, bad stress. Your choice. Prepare for a day of your life. Prepare to control the stress in your life. by the pace that you're living. Okay, the last of our 7 steps. Listen to what your life is telling you. You have an inner voice. That inner voice is always speaking to you, and it wants to protect you. What it's saying is the message you need to heed so you don't do damage to yourself. That inner voice inside of you is your guardian angel. You ever have an inner voice talk to you? You're struggling, you're wrestling, you're trying to make a decision. And you have this inner conversation with yourself. Now, you're going to have an inner conversation that's going to involve the 2 parts of you. The old you that wants you to answer whatever it is that you're facing through doubt, worry, and uncertainty, which is going to feed the bad stress. Or you're going to listen to the new you, where you believe, you trust, and you have faith in you, where you get the good stress. You're going to listen to one of the 2. And you're going to make your choice. And when you make your choice, you get the pathway that choice designs. And if you listen to the old you, you're going to get an increase in the bad stress. If you listen to the new you, you're going to get an increase in the good stress. Does that make sense to you? Now, this requires slowing down. Pace is critical. Think by listening to your eyes and your ears. Listen to what life is saying to you. Emotions are always speaking to you, so listen to which emotions are talking to you. The emotions that travel with doubt, worry, and uncertainty are the emotions that travel with belief, trust, and faith. What you're going to listen to. And then pause to listen. Pause to listen. Folks, you either control your stress or your stress controls you. Now, controlling stress, what will it do? Slow your life down to a manageable pace? Teach you how to make stress your friend? It'll result in you having a healthier life. It will enhance your ability to stay calm in the storms of life. Controlling it, you'll seek a response, not a reaction. And then you're going to see your life through a set of positive filters. That's the life you want. That's the good stress life. Now, if you don't have a copy of my new book, not my new book, this was the first book I wrote. If you don't have a copy of my book, The Truth About Stress, you need a copy of this. And here's my offer to you today. The book retails for $14.95. But I'd like to offer it to you for an investment of $7. And all you got to do is go to richardflint.com, go to shop, click on that, go to the Flint store, click on that, and then scroll down to the books. And you're going to find it right there. If you don't have a copy of this book, you need it. Not because it's mine, but I do not know that because it's mine, it's a great book. But you need it. There's how you do it. richardflint.com, shop, the Flint shop, and scroll down to the books. Now, can I get you to mark your calendar for a couple of dates coming up? Tomorrow, we have our Zoom classroom. And tomorrow, our question in front of the group is going to be, what's your purpose in life? And this is a time, you know, where we come together and it's not me talking. We can raise our hand and we can talk together. And we're going to share our purpose and why that purpose is important. And then on May 15th, our topic is going to be who has had the greatest impact on your life. I am so looking forward to this. Who has helped you become the person that you are today? And how did they do it? And why did they do it? And then our next live seminar is going to be June 4th, and we're going to talk about strengthening your discipline. Man, is this a powerful word that we need. And then October 1 through 4, my next small group retreat, decluttering your clutter. And you know, it's limited to 15 people. I think clutter is a disease. And it is a disease that nibbles at your success spirit. And in order to have the life you can have, you've got to learn to declutter your clutter. Now, you may have noticed there's not a slide in here about Star Maker, because we have postponed Star Maker to next year. Folks, I couldn't risk having Star Maker with this virus still going around and us not knowing what's going to happen. I just couldn't risk your health. And it was going to be impossible for us to practice social distancing with 200 people. Toughest decision I've made in a long time, what to do about Star Maker. But I've postponed it to July of next year. Now, what I've also done is put together a list of 47 processes that I'd like to offer you for all areas of your life. And if you would go to richardflint.e-junkie, it's there. It's an opportunity to invest in yourself. Please take a look at it. Go look and see if there are things there that will help you right now in this time of this new abnormal, and help you to control the stress in your life. So here's our last thought. It is natural and an everyday part of life that you'll have to deal with stress. You'll either make it your friend or your enemy. If you choose to make it your friend by learning to control it, it will protect you. But if you choose to make it your enemy, it will take over your life. It will weaken you, and it has the ability to take life away from you. You see, I believe this is your life, your choice. Stress is going to be an everyday part of your life. So what you do with it is up to you. Okay? Thanks for spending time with me. Let's have a day. Let's have a day of having good stress.